Since man first found his voice, we've been using music to understand our place in the universe and record our history. Here at Behind the Shadow, we're going to show you exciting new artists and also take you behind the glass to show you what it's like to be in a recording studio and help you learn all about how to take care of your music business. Welcome to Behind the Shadow. We've got an exciting show for you with our special guest, Chris Hicks. It's all about the music, so let's go.
Georgia moon, won't you keep on shining down this road? It keeps on winding. Georgia moon, my only friend in sight. Don't you know that you sure are lonesome tonight? Well, I grow tired this whole way I've been living. It's a gypsy's life, well, that I've been given. The wind on my back keeps my soul in flight. Yeah, what I'd give just to be home tonight. Day by day, this old highway calls. Now you know I don't mind, but sometimes, you know, the nights, they can seem so long. And somewhere in the dark, I can hear a night bird cry. It makes me wish I could fly back in time to another place where I can still see your face. La 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 la. Georgia moon, won't you keep on shining down this road? It feels just like it just keeps on winding. Georgia moon, my only friend in sight. Don't you know that we sure are lonesome tonight? Savannah smiled. She asked me to stay for a while. There was something down inside me that said, boy, move on. Well, I ain't never been rich, do what I choose. I got nothing to show you but some dust on my shoes. Still I know, with each and every step I take, there's another rainbow I can chase. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Georgia moon, won't you keep on shining down this road? It keeps on winding. Georgia moon, you're my only friend in sight. Don't you know that we sure are lonesome tonight? Ooh, yeah, yeah.
It is Behind the Shadow, and I am so thrilled today that we are able to bring you the kind of quality entertainment that you're going to see. And this is, I'm not going to say an old friend because I think he'll live forever, but this is a dear friend of mine, Chris Hicks, and I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Joey. Thanks for having me.
I've been doing some kind of form of a TV, radio show or something for a long time. And do you know that you have at some point been on all of them?
Is that right? Well,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to know that.
You're one of the consistent points of my career, apparently.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you some stories and see if you remember this stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll do some name dropping. So I was a very youngster. I was a young guy working at a studio, and I was there when the Outlaws, a band that you were part of with Huey Thomason and many other, and BB and lots of other great people, cut the last record that they did, which was Diablo Canyon.
That's correct.
And you guys were taking a break, and I walked into the tracking room where you were just hanging out or whatever. I think you were doing. I think you and Huey at the time. I think changed strings maybe every 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah, we got the Poison Sweat. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still do that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, you probably won't remember this, but I asked you. I said, Chris, you're a great guitar player. Teach me something. And you showed me. It was a D minor 9 chord going to a G13 chord. And at the time, I'd never played anything that complex. And you said, well, here's something really pretty that I like. And you played it to me. And it totally, over the next 3 or 4 months, as that sank in, and later as I became more educated and learned about voice leading and all these things, it totally changed my whole playing. And that was something that was because of you.
Well, I'm glad to know that.
I mean, that's something, so yeah, I mean, you taught me a lot. And every time I play that combination of chords, I think about you. So if you ever get a strange burning sensation,
I do.
That doesn't seem to go away with penicillin.
Right. That's where I learned to my ear to listen was hearing minor chords for some reason.
Yeah.
They're so dissonant sounding.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that, Joey.
Well, it's true. I mean, I just loved. I mean, and it was so. What I loved about it was, I mean, at that time, that was the first time we'd ever met, and at that time, you didn't know. I mean, I was just this kid, kind of, there. And a lot of guitar players are kind of like, they don't really want. And you were like, oh, I'll show you something. And so, I mean, I worked on that. I remember thinking at the time, like, the transition to move all my fingers. That's because I hadn't been playing very long at that time, maybe a year or so. And the transition to move from that chord to the other chord was so complicated to me. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to see if you remember that. We have intersected so many times. Like, I got to share the stage with you the last day the Georgia Music Hall of Fame was open.
Sure was.
And
last hurrah.
Yeah, that was, and it's sad that we lost it, but it was neat to have that moment because really, like I said, at the beginning of my career, there you were, and then here, we've kept in touch over the years. Let's talk about the things you've done over the years. Well, first of all, when was your first big opportunity to make music? When did that happen?
Well, I've been making music most of my life. I started playing with my grandfather when I was about 8 years old, and we played, I guess, the bluegrass festivals and things like that sometimes. So we got a chance to get the music bug early on. And, as a teenager and stuff like that, we had garage bands and whatnot. But Loose Change was the first band that we recorded an album, an actual, record album.
Right.
And we'd go to Muscle Shoals and record, and we recorded here in Macon as well.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our first taste of of doing it like that. You know, making records and getting your song played on the radio, things like that. And,
Still a thrill.
It's very much a thrill.
Yeah, still a thrill. And so Loose Change, and then that transferred. You played with so many bands that are, to me, sort of like the DNA of Georgia music. So you did Loose Change, then you've done. Tell me about the other ones. I mean, we know Marshall Tucker.
Right, I've been with Marshall Tucker about 25 years now.
Yeah, and you're their music director, along with playing guitar and everything. You're actually helping, set up the shows as far as musically the strategic aspects.
Sure,
and
it's pretty easy with us because we got a great band. You know, BB on drums and Rick Willis plays guitar with us. And, and Tony Black is our bass player, and everybody's real musical, so it's pretty easy to put things together, really. And we don't have a set list, never. We just kind of play whatever comes to mind. We like doing it that way.
Now the only original member of the band
would be Doug Gray, who's our singer.
So he's still
been there 45 years this year.
And I mean, I briefly met Torrey Caldwell. Of course, I know he passed away. I kind of got to know George McCorkle. I know he passed away. But it's amazing that you're keeping this history going.
It is amazing. I played with the Outlaws for many years before that, and they toured with Marshall Tucker a lot. So I was on stage with them a bunch for years before I joined the band. So it's kind of like family.
I got you.
And so it was a natural transition. And I've always wanted to say I was going to write a book called Martial Law.
I love
told them
it.
I should call the tour that Martial Law, but
I
they
think
don't listen to me.
They won't listen to you.
They don't listen.
Can we start a petition?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So now, how did you evolve? From and of course you have a solo career as well.
Yes, I do.
But how did you evolve, into the atmosphere of the Outlaws? Because that's another incredibly important band in Georgia history.
It really is, and the way that happened was Alan Walden was our common denominator. He was my friend and manager and publisher for years.
Yeah, sure.
And he was also Huey's, and signed the Outlaws and all. So on our trips to Muscle Shoals to record, usually we would record at night, and he would record during the day, and we would keep the studio going 24 hours. So we got to be friends, and I would play on some of his demos, and he would play on some of mine.
Well,
and so we struck up a musical friendship, and that's how I ended up joining that band.
I'll never forget Huey and how gracious he was.
Yeah, he was really a good guy.
He's an unusual talent.
Very talented, very stickler for pitch and, and things like that. I learned a lot about singing from Huey.
Well, I mean, I know, again, I remember those tracking sessions of Diablo Canyons and the layers of harmonies and stacks that he'd want. Right. And he was really meticulous, but never, or at least I never saw him like get mad or frustrated. He was always like, we're going to do it till it's right, but we're going to have fun doing it.
Right. He was a good teacher in some ways. In the fact, it was really easy for him because he could hear the pitch real good. But he was very good explaining it to people. He'd say parts are parts, just like a carburetor. For live shows, if we get a new guy in the band, you've got to sing well, is the way he would put it. And so not just tell him that, he would show him the part and drill it to him if he needed that to get it.
It was, I just remember, I conned him into playing on my first record.
I remember that.
And he came in, I think, in 45 minutes. It took us longer to set up than it took for him to get the take that I wanted. And he had this incredible guitar solos that were, it seemed like he had endless ideas.
It did, and something about the way he played, and Torrey Caldwell shared it too. I don't know what it is, but they had a Western thing in their soul for some reason. It's a cowboy feel.
Got a little chicken picking.
Both of those guys, right, chicken picking, and just a Western desert feel to a lot of their songs, and both bands kind of have that image because of that, because of their guitar playing, really.
So now you, with your music that you write, I've heard of many of your original songs, and I wonder if people would be surprised, and I don't know, I haven't seen Marshall Tucker perform live or anything like that, but I wonder if people would be surprised. They know they know you can rock. They know you can get out there and wail with the best of them. I wonder how many people realize what great ballads you write, and I want to know how you balance that incredible, powerful rock performance with these amazingly, like, tender ballads. I mean, how do you do that?
Well, that seems to be kind of a natural thing when you play something really hard and heavy, or even if it's a slow blues, if it's real powerful or something, then a slow song with a nice melody is kind of it's like a cool breath of fresh air.
So you've taught me about great resolutions, right? That's kind of like those two chords you taught me.
In a performance,
they were great resolutions.
Yeah, man.
One sets up the other.
Nice for the ears, when you have something real heavy, it's nice to have a quieter song to listen to.
What do you think about when you think about Georgia music and its future? I mean, what are your thoughts on on what we need to do to continue to be this strong force in music?
Well, I have to agree with you that locally, I wish we had more infrastructure for people because there's a lot of talented people around here. A lot of talented young folks that I've seen playing and singing and writing, and it looks like there's places for them to play now. That's good. Some clubs are coming back and stuff. Studios like yourself here, and people kind of help them promote it would be nice. And hopefully that's down the pipes.
Yeah, and what do you do? I'm just kind of curious because one thing that's important to me is good health, and you can't perform well if you don't feel well. And I feel like a lot of times it's a bit of a rat race, this business. I mean, it's like, you know, and how do you stay focused and healthy and at your best? Because every time I hear you, it's always great, and it amazes me that you're always at like peak proficiency. Well, what are your secrets?
Well, thank you. I don't know if there is a secret there, to be honest with you, because we travel so much. We play. We're on the road over 200 days a year every year, and so you kind of get in a state there where that's all you do is play. Maybe that's one thing that helps is you're kind of always ready to go out and play, and you know, you got to stay somewhat healthy, but that's hard to do traveling around and not getting sleep and things like that. But
do you make time to rest or read or meditate, or do you have anything you do on the road?
Yeah, sometimes you have to unplug. I call it decompressing. Sometimes you just have to, you know, if it's watching a TV program or if it's turning everything, all the sound off. Sometimes you got to get a little rest in.
Any barroom brawls to help relieve the monotony?
Oh, sure. Lots of them.
Yeah. So who's the best at fisticuffs in Marshall Tucker? Who's
that would probably be Marcus James.
I hope he sees this.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I hope he sees. So let me ask you this: where can people experience your amazing catalog of music? Do you have some albums you can recommend? Are you more traditional, like selling vinyl and CDs, or are you on iTunes?
Yeah, I'm on iTunes. I think the All Music program or computer setting, All Music. A young dude told me not long ago, and I looked myself up, and most of my songs were on there. My first record is called Funky Broadway.
I remember.
It came out in '96. Now, it's a little hard to find, and I'm not sure if it's on there or not, but most of all the other stuff I've done with Tucker or with the Outlaws or on my solo stuff is on allmusic.com kind of stuff.
And do you have a website?
I do not.
What is happening? You don't like technology, do you?
Well, I'm still learning it, yeah.
So it's amazing. Like the 5-year-olds are smarter than I am with the technology. I mean, it you know, and I'm supposed to be smart about this stuff. So the only other thing I want to sort of, because I wish we had like hours to chat, but is there anything exciting coming up in 2018 that you want to talk about? Anything that you want to promote?
Well,
besides, I heard that there's a new video of you on a stripper pole.
Yeah, well, that's not new, but it's coming back out. It's being re-released.
Okay, yeah.
I know King Johnson, who's one of my favorite bands, is kind of reuniting. At the end of this year to do a few dates. I'm hoping that will roll into the band getting back together.
Yeah, okay, good.
And you know, it's going to be their first date since Adam has passed and all that.
Yeah.
But what a great band! I always thought they were very underrated and under-recognized.
They're incredible.
And so they're getting together for this, and I've been in my own way kind of checking with Marcus and pushing him to hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah, and he's just super talented. Yeah,
I like to say they were too good for the music business. I think.
Nobody
knew what to do with
music business is tough.
It is,
and it doesn't make sense.
But things have changed since that 10 years they've been gone.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, things are so different, and constantly on the evolution. We could talk a whole lot about that. I think streaming is going to be the wave of the future, and the physical sales are going to slowly disappear, except for sort of boutique experiences. But that's another conversation. But I love you, and I want you to know that I'm so
Joey,
appreciative
good seeing
of
you, buddy. You sure
to
is.
be
Thank
here.
you.
I mean, this is a true Georgia legend. It doesn't get more real than this. You're going to love to see him perform today on Behind the Shadow.
There's a feeling when someone is close to your heart, right by your side. There's a star that's a million miles away from here, but I still see it shine. Through all the space and time, you're the tie that binds, and I'm with you for Say the apple don't never fall far from the tree. That ain't no lie. I think the worst part of you might be the best part of me. The reach for the sky, through all the space and time. Yeah, you're the tie that binds, and I'm with you forever and ever, always and a day. My love for you won't never go away. When I think of the words that I never can say, I hope you know what I mean. Looking into your eyes, see the brightest light shine that I've ever seen. Yeah. Through all the space and time.